and final game of group play here at the Arctic Blast Tournament. Kirkwood won this morning 2-0 against the Afton Americans to stay undefeated 2-0 through 2 games here in this tournament, which means they have a lot of paths through to the championship game tonight. A win, of course, would do it, finishing a perfect 3-0, but there are scenarios for other outcomes as well. A tie will also get Kirkwood through to the championship. And even in a loss, Kirkwood could still find its way through to that championship game. The IceHawks have made this an easier path as well for Kirkwood because they tied their game earlier today against Texas. So it is a little bit more urgency for the IceHawks in this game than Kirkwood because there are a lot more ways for them to miss the championship game, especially with a loss, since they are sitting on only 3 points instead of 4. This morning's game was won on goals by Liam Gale and Aiden Lamb, and then of course had the shutout in goal by Rory Murray, coming on the heels of one of her best performances of the entire season yesterday against the Pekin Dragons. It was really a grind through the first period against Afton, scoreless first period, but really good shift out of Kirkwood, good puck movement, good teamwork, got the puck to the front of the goal and caused a lot of chaos, and it was Liam Gale finding that loose puck and then finding the back of the net to break the game open and give Kirkwood a 1-0 lead. And it was only a matter of minutes later before Aiden Lamb created a turnover in the neutral zone and had a step behind the defense. And if you've seen Aiden Lamb skate, you know a step is all he needs. Got that little giddy up, hit that extra gear, and he was off to the races and didn't miss his shot in close. So Kirkwood went from a scoreless grind to suddenly having a 2-goal lead, and that was all they needed to complete their second win of the tournament. So now, really the only scenario in which they would miss the championship game is if they lose and the Texas team wins while also making up 5 goals in goal differential. So if Kirkwood can just keep this thing close, even in a loss, they'll go through. It's a blowout loss and a Texas win that would start to make Kirkwood's position precarious. They have the head-to-head tiebreaker against the Pekin Dragons, who are playing against Texas. Both of those teams are sitting on 2 points, so the winner will be at 4 points, the same total that Kirkwood currently has. But if Pekin wins that game, they'll be at 4 points, and a tie is the best they could do with Kirkwood in the standings, in which case Kirkwood would go through to the final. So Kirkwood really sitting pretty here, but this is one of their toughest tests of the season, so they're going to want to put their best foot forward regardless of the circumstances. And here's a shot from Bryson, early look at goal from the face-off circle. Goalie's ready for it. And the reason that I say this is one of Kirkwood's toughest tests is because this IceHawks team started out in the A3 division preseason, but was ultimately moved up to A2 in the middle of declaration season. So it's not my opinion, it's the opinion of Missouri hockey that this IceHawks team is a cut above the A3 division in which Kirkwood plays. But of course, the Stars will have something to say about that as they get to play them head-to-head. These teams did not meet in the preseason, although they were in the same division. IceHawks were not on Kirkwood's declaration schedule, but this could be an interesting matchup. Had IceHawks stuck in Kirkwood's A3 bracket, this could have potentially been the hypothetical Blue Note Cup championship pairing. So it'd be fun to see how these teams stack up against each other. I don't think whatever happens here, it will be tough for them to both end up in tomorrow's championship game, just because of the Ice Hawks taking that tie against Texas. As Southern Illinois gets it in deep to Kirkwood zone. This is their real first shift on the attack. They're battling for it in the corner. Ice Hawks come away with it, sliding it past Rory. Jacob down there battling for it, wins it, and skates away with it. Changes directions behind the goal, sends it up the boards to Leo. Ice Hawks send it back down. Centering pass, but gets through the slot. Shot comes. Half-hearted attempt, really. Easy save for Rory. And we stay scoreless. So that was a good shift out of Southern Illinois. Their first time setting up camp in Kirkwood territory. It will be David on the draw for Kirkwood here. Ice Hawks win it back to the point. Puck comes low. Back up the boards. Back down to Bodie behind the goal. He's going to try the other side. Nope, changes directions. Wants to come up this same side here. And it's out to Jaden. And Kirkwood's away here. It's Will behind the defense. He's got David with him. Oh, he fans on the shot. Golden opportunity for Kirkwood. Had Will away with the puck. David on his wing. Both of them were behind the defense, but Will just couldn't get much on that shot. As David trying to win that puck over to his teammates. As Ice Hawks send it up to center ice, and it slides back to Rory, who thought about keeping it live, but ultimately does go for the cover. Rory is really hitting her groove here lately, finding a different gear. I think the transition to the Peewee level, jumping up into the new age tier, she was facing a different quality of shot than she was used to last year at the squirt level. And I think there was a little bit of an adjustment period, but since the turn of the calendar, she has been in fine form, especially lately. Aiden Lamb behind the goal, trying to center, has Liam still loose. Aiden back on the puck in the corner, centering, Ice Hawks are there. Ice Hawks getting some speed through neutral ice. Bryson wins it back for Kirkwood. Puck goes to the far boards. Aiden gets a stick to it. Comes out to neutral ice. They'll have to be patient to avoid the offsides. They do reload. That's Gavin sending it in to Aiden. Goes behind the goal. Ice Hawks are there. And Ice Hawks exit. Good pass through neutral ice. Trying to turn the corner here. And Gavin gets a stick on it. Good defensive work back there by number 49. As Kirkwood battles for it in the corner. Jacob gets it out to Aiden. Look out. He's going to turn on the Jets here. He's got some speed. Makes a shot. And the goalie drops to cover it. I thought we might see a little bit more of a flash out of Aiden there. That is the moment he usually looks for in these games, when he can get behind people, because he is Kirkwood's fastest skater. Tends to have a different gear than everybody else. I thought he might look a little bit more dangerous on the attack there. Here's David fighting through traffic. And it is Blake sending it back up to Jackson. That's center ice. Switching to David on the wing. Has it in the slot. His shot is blocked. Back to Blake. Out to David. Slap shot. Hits a defender. He has been starting to wind that slap shot up more and more. Has worked on it a lot and is starting to let it go with regular frequency multiple times a game now. He really likes to let it fly on those slappers when he gets a chance. As we continue to stay scoreless here, 8:24 left here in the first period. It's Liam Gale on the draw for Kirkwood, goes back to Gavin. Liam slides it past the post. Jaden over, shot coming, that's Liam. Puck, where is it? Caught in a jersey. We get a whistle. So I was talking about Rory making the full transition to the Peewee level and really showing her true self here now after the turn of calendar. I think we're seeing that a lot from the other first-year Peewee players as well. Liam Gale, one of those here in the face-off circle. And that would also include Blake and Bodie on defense, David as well. That group of 5 players, the 4 outskaters plus Rory, are your first-year Peewee players. And you tend to see this when the calendar switches to the new year. The first-year group tends to take off. And that's what we're getting here for the Stars. Jaden in the corner. Ice Hawks will skate it out. Pass up to neutral ice. Soft shot goes easily off Rory's pads. And here's Jaden. Up to Liam now, Will. He sends it deep. Ice Hawks. Easy exit as Kirkwood reloads on the change, but here comes Bryson in, hot off the bench. Now David on the wing. Does a couple of redirections. Backhand behind the back pass. Goes through the crease. Bodie sends it back in. David in the slot. Can't pull the trigger. He goes down. Bodie. Back to Southern Illinois. David gets a skate to it, takes it away, and sends it in deep. Southern Illinois, they do navigate out of their own end. Switching to the wing, into the slot, and close, wide of the goal. Looking for a centering pass here, it goes behind the goal instead. Rory doesn't see it. Has the crease sealed, keeps it out. And it goes in the corner. David finds Bryson on the exit. He's got Aiden with him. Puck loose into the corner, Ice Hawks are on it. Out to Liam at center ice. Kirkwood will reload here. Back to Jacob, over to Liam. Now it slides into Kirkwood territory. Jacob's on the puck for the Stars. Here comes the Ice Hawk forecheck. They steal it away. And Jacob steps up and skates it out himself. Bryson had to hesitate at the blue line, so his teammates come in offsides. Still scoreless here. First period, just over 5 minutes left. Liam on the dot for Kirkwood. They battle for it there. Up to Leo. Skating forward with it into the corner. Back out to Jacob, goes in for a pinch and whiffs. It's only Gavin back for Kirkwood. just continues to be a wall back there. Unbelievable goaltending we've been seeing out of her. I was describing the first game earlier today, and even though Kirkwood won that game by 3 goals, I think you can fairly say that Rory stole that game from the Pekin Dragons. She really just shut down a barrage of attacks. Here's a blocker save. IceHawks center it, and she'll cover. Yeah, it's a strange thing to say that a goalie stole a game in which her team won by 3, but that's just how ferocious the Dragon attack was, and how many high quality, high danger, grade A chances they had. But Rory just was save after spectacular save, and it really felt like Kirkwood got outplayed in that game. And it was the difference in goaltending that was the difference in the scoreboard. Follows that up with a shutout, and now hasn't had the same volume of work this evening, but when she has been put to the test, it's been having her stretch out. So as here an IceHawk goes down, we're gonna have a delayed penalty. Kirkwood touches it up, so we'll get the whistle. It's the first penalty of the game. First power play for the IceHawks, first penalty kill for the Stars. Tripping is the call. So, number 1 penalty killer for Kirkwood is, of course, Rory Murray back in the goal. Looks like she might have some more work coming for her as Kirkwood will skate down a man. Bryson in the face-off circle for the Stars. They're battling for it. He'll go behind the goal, up the boards to Aiden. IceHawks chip it around him. Winding up a shot. Nope. Jacob gets a stick to it. Here's Gavin sending it up and out. Aiden tracks it down with that speed. Bryson overskates a loose puck. And now we've got a whistle on this end. Looks like the goal might be off its posts. So we will reset. 59 seconds left on the Bodie Bossy penalty. Bryson still in the face-off circle for Kirkwood. He's got Aiden on his right. Gavin and Jacob on the D-line. Aiden battling for it in the corner, winning it there, but losing it back to the IceHawks. IceHawks are in. Centering. They got to stick to it, but not enough of one. Puck stays out. We stay scoreless. 30 seconds left on the penalty. IceHawks are in again. Centering, top of the slot to the far post. Makes a move and scores! IceHawks strike first on the power play. Good passing in the offensive zone by Southern Illinois there. Got it centered, got it to the wing, and then a really nice wide-ranging move from the post over to the other. It is David on the draw here for Kirkwood. So they'll be chasing this one. I believe it's their first deficit of the tournament. As here comes the IceHawks again, now even strength. Tied up behind the goal. David skating out with it. Finds Jackson at center ice. He gets tied up on those boards, and here comes Southern Illinois skating forward into the corner, dropping it to the point, but Leo picks it off. He's got Jackson at center ice. Now he finds him. Can't grab the handle. IceHawks break through. Turning it around. Picked off by David. But IceHawks win it back. David back on the puck. Backhands it out to neutral ice. IceHawks have it there. Behind the goal. Centering top of the slot. He's open. Shot is blocked. Liam up the boards to Leo. Puck battle there. Leo flips it out. IceHawks have it. Coming back in. Behind the back pass is picked off. It's Gavin. IceHawks hold the line. Shot goes wide. Up to Will. Big pressure here from Southern Illinois. Into the slot. Partially blocked. Scooped up by Rory. And IceHawks are starting to take control of this game. Really pinning Kirkwood into their own zone here. Late in the first period. We've got 40 seconds left on the game clock for period number 1 as the Southern Illinois team is really riding the momentum started by that power play, and even as Kirkwood has returned to full strength, it looks like they are still killing a penalty for how much they've been pinned in here. That was a couple of big shifts out of the IceHawks. And here they are in again on the attack, going behind the goal, trying to center, off a skate, backhand, behind the goal, out to Jaden, long shot coming, falls in the slot, now behind the goal, again, here they are on the doorstep, Rory closes the door, and that does it for the first period. IceHawks looking really strong to finish off that frame. Kirkwood will be glad to hear that buzzer as it'll bail them out of their own end. They were pinned in deep with the IceHawks unrelenting on the pressure and not just sustaining possession, but really getting some good looks, getting that puck, working it into the slot, working it in front of the crease. So I think the Stars will have some adjustments to make here going into the middle period. The IceHawks looking every bit like an A2 team here against the A3 Stars. They're living up to the billing as Missouri Hockey moved them up from A3 to A2 in declaration season. Can't be too skeptical about that right now as they lead 1-0 at the break over the Kirkwood Stars. It was a power play goal for the IceHawks, but they continued to look like they had a man advantage for the rest of the period, even after Bodie Bossy came out of the box. Looks like we've got David on the draw at center ice. He'll have Aiden on his right, Bryson on his left. Blake and Bodie on defense. Blake wearing the captaincy for the first time this season, I believe. And here comes Southern Illinois right away, right again. Dropping it to the point. Back down low. Turns it around. Puck pops up over the boards. So we'll get a face-off here in the defensive zone for Kirkwood. Same line is out there. Blake and Bodie making a nice defensive pair as they were last year on that Squirt A1 team that won the Blue Note Cup championship, together again here at the Peewee level. Blocked by Bodie. It's Blake sending it up to Aiden. And Aiden bounces it off the boards. Here comes the Kirkwood forecheck. Aiden has to wait. His teammates get onside. Kirkwood is in. Long shot off the glove, rebound. It's in the goal. David Kukla on the rebound. And we are level 1-1. Nice shot from the wing there, causing the rebound. Goalie got a glove to it, but couldn't squeeze it. Falls to the ice, and Mr. Opportunistic David Kukla in the right place at the right time, puts it through, finds that equalizer. As we talk through the advancing scenarios for Kirkwood, want to keep this one close. A tie is all they need to get through for certain. But even in a 1-goal loss, Texas would need to beat the Pekin Dragons by 4 goals. That would make them even in the goal differential column. So it really take a 5-goal win out of Texas, combined with a 1-goal loss by Kirkwood, for Kirkwood to lose its seat in the championship. Here's Liam on the wing, tough shot. Goalie's got it, but good look from Kirkwood. David, Kirkwood's goal scorer in the face-off circle, second on the team in points. Here's Blake sending a shot that gets blocked and goes low now. David with a nice little back check, but here IceHawks keep coming. IceHawks drop it to the point, but it sneaks out of the zone. They've got to reload. Bodie has time to pick out a teammate. He finds Will up those same boards. Will on it again, sends it into the zone. Here's David on the forecheck. Over to Jaden. Back out past Blake, so Bodie will retreat for it. He gets to it first. Being chased behind his own goal. Long stretch pass up to Will. He's in with Liam. Shot, save. This time the goalie squeezes that puck with the glove. No rebound for Liam like he had earlier today in the first goal against Afton. Liam Gale was one of what I would consider 3 of the straws that stirred the drink for that Squirt A1 team that won the Blue Note Cup Championship. It was Harry Miller, who was playing AAA Blues this year, George Ambersley, who's playing A1, and Liam Gale here on this A3 team. Those were the engines that made that team go. You will see them on the ice together in the high leverage situations. And so I'm really looking for Liam to step up down the stretch here and show some of that dominance that he had last year. And like I was saying earlier, it is that time of year for the first year Peewees to step up and come into their own. So I've got Liam Gale circled as one of those players who could be a real difference maker for Kirkwood down the stretch here. There he is, Liam Gale on the puck, turning it around. Bryce, oh no, that's Jacob holding the line. Over to Aiden, they've got to be patient. Yeah, that does come in offsides. So we'll get the face-off back out here. in neutral ice. David back on the dot for the Stars. Leo on his right and Jackson on his left. Here's Leo, nice stick from him. David on the wing, slides a shot wide of the post. Jackson winning the puck over on the far board, sticking with it. IceHawks take it back. And now they're out, but Bodie sends it right back in. Up to a battle just inside the blue line. Out to Leo. And IceHawks have it in transition here. Looked like they were loading up a shot from the slot. It goes boards instead. And Leo's got some space to skate. Up to Jackson, team leader in points, into the slot. David battling for it. Jackson has it. Centering. Oh, it slides just wide. David back behind the goal. And now the puck comes all the way over. So here's the pushback that you wanted to see from Kirkwood. You saw the IceHawks at the end of the first period really asserting themselves as the more dominant team, pinning in Kirkwood long in their own zone, and even showed a bit of that to start the second. But now Kirkwood is pushing back. They're starting to establish some possession of their own. And here's Liam, nice 1-2 punch over to Will, but the save is made. Great pass, one-time shot from Will, but the goalie was good for that one. Back to Jacob. Now Jaden coming in. Tries to center it. That pass is blocked. Into the face-off circle and out for the IceHawks. But Jacob is ready and waiting for them in neutral ice. He sends it back in, but offsides. Loved that passing from Liam over to Will. And the one-timer was loaded and ready. Got the shot away, got most of the puck, but goalie did well to get in position and keep that shot out. We stay even 1-1 as David wins the draw and skates forward. Backhand is blocked. As IceHawks skating the other way. It's been a while since we said that, as this one slides to Rory. She keeps it live. Centered, but only red jerseys are there. Blake will skate out with it, finds Bryson at center ice. David supporting the play. Puck goes back to Blake. Makes a little deke. Now loses the puck. And the puck goes behind the goal. Bodie will get to it, up to Bryson. Nice exit pass to Aiden. Turning on the Jets. In the end, can only slide it to the goalie. Wanted to get behind that last defender, just couldn't quite turn the corner. Here's David, drops it to Bodie, loads up a long wrister. Jacob, now Aiden, he fans on a slapper. Back up the boards, Jacob's ready for it. He sends it low, trying to get it to Bryson, but intercepted by the IceHawks. Here they come. Long shot, easy glove save for Rory. She'll take those all day with no traffic in front of her. No one there for a rebound. Not like she gave one up anyway. We saw that a lot from Northwest Arkansas, where they would enter the zone and immediately shoot. And I just really thought it was a disservice to their own offense. Rory will gladly take those long-range shots with no traffic in front of her. As here is Jackson navigating traffic in neutral ice. Now Liam over to Leo. Shot coming, goes behind the goal. Deep pinch from Gavin. IceHawks fight through it. 3-on-1. Jacobs back for Kirkwood. Shot. Blocker save, and Rory covers. Big rush from the IceHawks as they fought through Gavin's pinch, which, let me tell you, is hard to do. Don't see that very much. Usually Gavin has things locked down there on the blue line, but it did lead to a 3-on-1 rush for Southern Illinois. Jacob was back for Kirkwood, and so was Rory, and she was up to the task, keeping that one out and keeping us level 1-1. As IceHawks steal the puck on the exit attempt, fighting for it in the low slot. It slides loose, and IceHawks can't hold the line, and here's Bryson. No, that's Jackson there on the wing. Puck slides out to Captain Blake Warfel. He wraps it around the boards. IceHawks shovel it up the far side. Oh, it's loose into Leo, makes a move. Kick save, follow. Leo can't center it. Blake in deep as a defenseman here. David rotates back to cover for Blake. Here come the IceHawks. They have an open man in the slot. Couldn't get it to him. Makes a move. Oh, tried the one-timer. Couldn't connect. And here comes Kirkwood the other way. It's Jackson. An on-goal shot. Blocker save. David with the follow. Here we go, transition hockey. IceHawks coming the other way. Defense gets back to shut it down. Jacob fighting for it in the corner. He fights through all of that, still following it up. IceHawks centering, picked off by Bodie. Shot coming, rebound, Rory closes the door. How did she keep that out? My goodness, Rory Murray. Had a great view of it from this booth above the scorer's table. Rory with the stretched out pads made the save, but Southern Illinois was right there for the rebound. I really don't know how they didn't get around that pad or over it. But Rory again saving the day, keeping us level 1-1. This is the Rory Murray that I meant when I said early in this season that she is my Peewee A1 pick for the goalie position. Big luxury to have her here at the A3 level. I did notice a bit of adjustment period for her. That's probably why she's on A3 and not A1, giving her some time to adjust to the new level of shot. But now that she's seen it and now that she's ready for it, she is showing off why she is one of the top goaltenders in this club. Here comes the IceHawks the other way, 3-on-2, broken up by Jacob, and here's Gavin in the corner. Long shot bounces, blocked in the slot. IceHawks are on it in the corner, centering. Behind the goal, Will's on it, on the wing. Gets it out. But IceHawks are back and regrouping in their own end. Kirkwood goes for a change. Gavin sending it out. IceHawks carrying it back in. Liam knocking it back over the blue line. Back to Blake, flips it forward. Gavin again, here come the IceHawks, breaking through. Blocked by Blake, flips it high over the glass. This has been a fun period, folks. Still 1-1 on the goal by David Kukla. Just over 2 minutes left here in the second stanza. There's David, Kirkwood's goal scorer, in the face-off circle. Bryson just bowls over someone, just standing up tall, knocking him over. And Bodie chips it up to Bryson. Building speed, centering. Oh, 2 Stars were there uncovered. Couldn't get to the puck. And IceHawks coming the other way in transition. Good work by Blake on defense to prevent him from turning the corner. Centering. Slapper off of Rory's pads. Scrambling for it. And Bodie on the back door sweeps it away. IceHawks back in. Shooting. Kick save. No stick for Rory. Still keeps it out. Rory's got her stick back. IceHawks. Slapper is blocked by Aiden. Centering, deflected on goal, but Rory is there. She had to scramble on that shift. Lost her stick and everything, but manages to keep the puck out and keep us tied 1-1 with under a minute left here in the second period. You saw Bodie covering her back as she was scrambling on that short side post. Puck got in behind her. Wide open net, wide open crease. As here, IceHawks coming in the low slot again. Jacob gets a stick to it. And Kirkwood is out. Half a minute left here. Making a move. Forecheck. That's Jackson. 15 seconds left in the period. Here come the IceHawks. 3-on-1, 2-on-1. And they're in offsides. And that's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct for the shot into the goal after the whistle. Just a mild moment of frustration, really, against the IceHawks there. Had the 2-on-1 rush. In offsides, heard the whistle, shot the puck anyway, and that's going to be a 90-second visit to the penalty box. 11 seconds left here in the period. Kirkwood winning the draw, centering, shot, glove save, and covered. Little bit of extracurricular activity there after the whistle. Just under 6 seconds to go here in the second stanza. Liam in the face-off circle wins it over back to Jacob. Long shot off of Liam. And that's the end of period number 2. Kirkwood getting a goal back. On the rebound by David Kukla, pulls us even 1-1 after the IceHawks struck first in the first period with the power play goal. So if this game ends with no more goals, Kirkwood would be through to the championship. Just need a tie or a win to secure that for sure, regardless of what happens elsewhere. And if they can at least keep it close, it would take a huge win out of Texas just to pull even with them in goal differential. So Kirkwood sitting pretty right now unless the wheels really come off here late. But I was starting to tell you about Bodie Bossy on the back door covering Rory, who was scrambling on the short side. Puck gets in behind her, loose in the crease, wide open goal. Bodie is there to sweep it away to safety. But you really saw Rory working hard there, lost her stick, and doing everything she can to keep it out. It's been a fun one. I was starting to worry a little bit about Kirkwood there after the Southern Illinois goal. IceHawks were looking really strong to end that first period, and they continued that momentum into the second. But Kirkwood finally got the pushback they needed and have settled nicely into this game ever since. David on the draw, Kirkwood still up a man, but shorthanded IceHawks come in the other way. Here's Will and David. And it will be Jaden passing it out up ahead to Will. Makes a move in the slot, shoots. Pad save. And the arm goes in the air here. Looks like we're gonna have a penalty against Kirkwood. David, not too happy about that one. Has a little laugh with the official. But he does go to the penalty box, so Kirkwood's goal scorer in for a minute and a half. 50 seconds left on the Southern Illinois penalty for 4-on-4. Then they'll have an abbreviated power play of their own. IceHawks hold the line, send it deep. Jacob on the puck behind the goal. Wraps it around, held in, and sent back down by Southern Illinois. Here comes Gavin breaking it up. Puck goes behind Kirkwood's goal. IceHawks trying to center, can't. That was Gavin preventing the pass. Jacob turns it around. And again, still dangling back there. IceHawks now take it away. Centering. Gavin's on it. He sends it up the boards. Again, IceHawks send it back down. They are back to full strength. So now 5-on-4 for Southern Illinois for 30 more seconds. Here they come, dangling through the defense back door, and they score! Another power play goal for Southern Illinois. They get the pass to the back post. Nothing Rory could do there. They bury the chance on the back door with the man advantage. So we will be back to full strength on both sides. 5-on-5. As Southern Illinois retakes the lead now 2-1. Both of their goals coming on the power play. And here they come again. A little bit of a rush here. Turning the corner, centering off the pads. Where's the puck? It's loose. There's Jackson centering to Leo. Here comes Liam. Gets a stick to it, but IceHawks fight through it. Bodie whiffs on the stick attempt, and strong on the stick there. That's Blake bumping an IceHawk off the puck. Now Liam flips it out to center ice. Jackson is there. He fights through a defender, but can't get to the puck in time as help came in. That's Blake holding the line. Down to Jackson, supported by Liam. He scores! Liam Gale with the snipe from the slot. There's that man, Liam Gale. I was telling you about him earlier. The straw that stirred the drink last year for the Squirt A1 Blue Note Cup champions, starting to assert himself here at the Peewee level. We are tied 2-2 on that snipe from Liam Gale. Here come the Ice Hawks. Puck goes loose, David chasing on the forecheck. Here comes Jaden in support. As they skate below us here, going the other way. On the wing, can't turn the corner. Turns it around, goes behind the goal. Coming up that short side, glove save. Out to Jaden, gets it up to Will, turning on the Jets, makes a move, shoots, save, follow by Jaden. It stays out, we stay level. Puck will trickle out to neutral ice. Bodie sends it back in just before Kirkwood can clear the zone, so it is offsides. Liam Gale with the shooter's shot from the slot. Following up a big attempt by Jackson. Pulls us even again. 2-2 with 9 minutes to go in the game. Nice stick by Blake to bump it over to Bryson. Here come the Ice Hawks. Taken away. That's Bryson. And Ice Hawks send it deep. Bodie back for it. He misses the puck, but that's Liam Gale picking up the loose trash there. Now Bryson, stretch pass to Aiden. Ice Hawks turn it around. Stopped at the center line by Liam. Up to Aiden. Blake back for it, makes a move, and it's Aiden behind everybody if he hurries. Can't beat the puck to the goalie, who covers it there. 8:02 left in the game, tied 2-2 on the scoreboard. As we stand, Kirkwood is through to the championship game with a tie or better, and probably still so as long as they keep it close. David on the draw. Jackson on his left, Leo on his right. Leo centers it, picked off by Southern Illinois. Southern Illinois skating forward into the zone. Centering, Jacob is there behind his goal now. Up through the middle, picked off and shot over everything. Jacob off the boards to Jackson. Ice Hawks reload. Good stick by Jacob to break it up, but it gets in behind him, offsides. 7:21 left on the game clock. 2-2 on either side of the scoreboard. As we get fresh legs for Kirkwood, Liam Gale, who got the equalizer, the second equalizer of the game, taking the draw. Jaden on the puck now, sends it deep. Will skating in on the forecheck. Liam wins it back, centers, shot from Jaden. What a look by Jaden Lowry. Great pass from Liam, digging it out from behind the goal. Found the open shooter, and Jaden got all of it, but also got all of the goalie. Liam in the face-off circle. Will on his left. IceHawks send it around to Jaden. He again tries to center it. Bodie sends it low. Liam in the face-off circle. Had Will on the back door, but fanned on the one-time attempt. Puck slides. No icing as it crosses the end line. Rejected by Bodie in the slot. Here's Liam flipping it out to neutral ice. IceHawks send it in deep. Blake back for it. Up to Jaden. Skates it out himself. Centers to Liam. Now Will. Fighting through traffic and shooting. What a save. Sticking out the leg. We've got an arm in the air. Delayed penalty coming against the IceHawks. They touch up. And draws the whistle. Kirkwood will go on the power play here. Looked like I just saw a hooking signal from the official. Yep, that's a hook against Southern Illinois. So Kirkwood will go on the power play. 6:07 left in the game. Tied 2-2. Stars just needing a tie or better to go through to the championship. David will take this draw for Kirkwood. Bryson on his left. That's Aiden on his right. Back to, deflected up, but wide of the post. Back to Gavin. Sends it low to Bryson. Centering. Picked off by the IceHawks. IceHawks dumping it in. Gavin back for it. Wraps it around to Bryson, centering, trying to find Aiden there. Gets David instead. David gaining the blue line, but IceHawks send it back out, switching it. They find Aiden. Oh, but the puck bounces over the blue line offsides. So 52 seconds left on the power play for Kirkwood as we stay tied 2-2 on goals by David and Liam. There's David, found the first equalizer. Wins the draw to Aiden, fights forward, shot, followed by David, it stays out. Got the wrong side of the post there. David lost his stick. He'll just try to play soccer with it as IceHawks skated up the far boards. They dump it in deep. 25 seconds left on the power play for Kirkwood. Liam wins the puck in the corner, tries to get it to Aiden. Now Kirkwood gets it out and up, and nice steal by Liam at center ice, but Aiden's in offsides. Great work by Liam Gale to grab that puck at the center line. Looked like he was on a good rush there with Aiden, but Aiden just a little too hasty in ahead of the puck. It will be Aiden on the dot here with 5 seconds left on the power play. Back to Gavin, up to Jackson, ahead to Liam, layoff pass. IceHawks are back to full strength as Jacob goes back for the puck and wraps it around, gets it to Jackson, centering exit pass to Leo, one-on-one with the defender, and back check comes in to break it up. Leo waits for it at the blue line, but still skates in offsides. 2-2, just under 4 minutes to play here between the A2 IceHawks from Southern Illinois and the A3 Kirkwood Stars. This is something of a semifinal for this Arctic Blast tournament here in Wentzville. Kirkwood can sustain a loss and still go through, but the winner will definitely go through to the championship. Either way. Back to Blake. Centering to Bodie. Loads up a wrister. It's loose. Puck slides all the way to the other end. Goes for icing. It will be David on the draw, wins it to Blake. Liam, his pass is picked off. Jaden chases it down for Kirkwood. Gets it to the weak side, that's David over there. IceHawks turn it around, but here comes Jaden again. Kirkwood's in. Wrapping it around, David's gonna get to it with time and space in the corner. He loses the puck. IceHawks bounce it out. And Blake back to it. Skating it up himself. Blake trying to navigate traffic. He loses it. Puck goes long. Up to center ice. Here come the IceHawks. Bryson on the puck, coming the other way. Makes a move, gains the blue line from the face-off circle. Shot is kept out. Here's Southern Illinois. Liam grabs the loose puck. IceHawks behind the goal, wrap around. Denied on the doorstep. Out to Bryson. He has some daylight to skate to. One-on-one. Shot from the face-off circle. Kick save, keeps it out. Follow. Long sliding shot. Again hits the pads. Jacob will try a third time. Southern Illinois, 90 seconds left in the game. Looks like we've got a slash. So Kirkwood will go shorthanded for the remainder of this one. Tied 2-2. Bryson in the box. If they hold on to this scoreline, they will go through to the championship game. Puck goes low into the corner. Blake had time, but loses a bit of an edge there. Up to Jackson. Has a stretch pass to David behind everybody. Breakaway. Oh, he loses the handle. He centers it, but nobody's home. David, clear, breakaways here. It's loose in the crease, but only for a moment. Now the IceHawks on a rush the other way. .45 seconds left. Shot denied. I think I heard some iron there. Up to David again. Being patient with it this time, drops it to Jackson, but stolen away. Here come the IceHawks. Shot, saved, and covered. So David, with some daylight ahead of him, a couple times there on that shift. Couldn't convert. We stay tied 2-2. Stars are still shorthanded. Slapper from the face-off circle. Ice Hawks dangling. Now Jacob wraps it around. That's Leo. Ice Hawks get it low. Clock runs out. We stay tied, and Kirkwood goes through to the championship game. They will play tomorrow from the other side of this arena on the blue rink at 10:15 tomorrow morning. Can't remember now if it's 10:15 or 10:30, but either way, they do get that late slot they wanted to play for the championship. We'll have to look at the standings and what happened in the other game between Texas and Pekin. Both of those teams were sitting at 2 points going into this one, and the Ice Hawks were sitting on 3 points going into this one. So if there is a winner on the other side of this arena, that team will go through to meet Kirkwood in the championship game. If that other game ends in a tie like this one, then we've got a real mess on our hands, because both of those teams will be at 3 points. St. Peter's is also at 3 points, and then the Ice Hawks are at 3 points. So we could have a 4-way tie for that second championship spot if the other game right now ends in a tie. But if there is a clear winner between Texas and Pekin, that team will go through to the championship game to play Kirkwood tomorrow morning. Without even looking at my computer or seeing what it is, I must say I have a hunch it's going to be the Pekin Dragons. And boy, what a rematch that would be after Rory stole the show against them in that 5-2 victory. And even with that 3-goal margin for Kirkwood, that game, I might have to say, was dominated by the Pekin Dragons. Rory really stole it from them with spectacular save after spectacular save. Don't know yet for sure if we do get a rematch, but that would be a fun draw. But if Texas beats Pekin in that other game, that should be ending right about now. It would be Texas instead. Again, if those two teams tie, then there's a whole mess of teams, 4 of them to be exact, that would have to sort through the tiebreakers. I really have no idea who would come out in that scenario. So I'm going to say goodbye from Wentzville. Go look at the standings, sort through it all. I'll probably make a post on the YouTube channel, let you know who we're playing in the morning. But we'll be here from Wentzville as we say goodbye tonight. See ya in the championship tomorrow.